Hey guys, it's Elite Kicks back here, getting another video out to you guys. I've heard you guys' feedback. A lot of you guys want the informational content, which is what I'm going to be sort of pushing out these next couple of weeks. Going to try to keep it to one to two videos a week. What I've stopped doing is sort of the pickup vlogs. I don't know if you guys are still interested in that, but comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. But in this video today, we're going to talk a little bit about the introduction or just the basics to sneaker investing. That's what I want to talk about. And before I get into that, guys, I'm sure you saw it on my Instagram. I hit on 3 pairs of the cool grays, hit on the Jordan 2s, hit on the Dunk restock. I have a how to cop on Sneakrs up. I'm going to be updating that in December, just 1 month after posting it, because I have more additional tips I can push out to you guys. With that being said, guys, let's get into the introduction of the basics of sneaker investing. I want to talk about sort of 2 to 3 basic topics, and then I'll kind of break down, sneaker investing in general. So the first basic tip I have is, capital. How much capital do you want to put into sneakers? Here's my advice. If you're just starting out, I would say you probably need somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 to $300. Now, if you can get upwards of $1,000, that's great. You can hit on a lot of the retail investments, and you can easily churn out and make even more money. So the first thing to always consider, and this works for anything that I say, is capital. Make sure you have the capital to go for any sneakers you want to go for. Don't just go for it because there's a lot of hype around it. If you don't have the money, do not spend the money. The last thing you want to do is spend money on sneakers and then go into debt and run up that credit card debt. Guys, just not a good idea. So the idea with capital, set aside some portion of money and say to yourself, that is the only money you're going to use on sneaker investing. Do not go over that. Do not spend over that. You do not want credit card debt. So guys, first basic tip, understanding your capital. Understand how much you have, how much you can use, okay? Second basic tip, you got to understand the market you're getting into. Just like with anything you resell, clothing, any clearance items you pick up, anything you resell, you've got to understand what the market is. What is the price of the item? How much are you paying for it? How much can you make off of it, okay? What that means is you got to do your research. You got to figure out what's trending. In the sneaker game, you're talking Jordan 1s, Jordan 4s, Dunks, collabs. Certain collabs are trending. Figuring out, okay, Off-White trending. Can I get this? Can I not get this? How much can I pay for this? Figure out what's trending. And it's so easy to just Google around and find this out. And do not hesitate to contact me with questions you guys have and just be like, hey, Elite Kicks, do you think this could be a good investment? If I pay this, is this a good investment? Okay, so that's the second basic tip. Figure out what's trending. Figure out what collabs, what 1s, what 4s, what Dunks. Just understanding the market you're getting into. The other third basic tip is when to buy. We're going to break this down a little bit further, but obviously if you get it for retail, best time to buy, right? Because you're getting it for a retail price. But maybe you want to also take things a step further. Maybe you don't get it for retail, but maybe you can only pay $20 over the retail price and still get it. Is it still then a good investment? Understanding when to buy, and it's easier to understand that tip when you understand what's trending. Okay, you understand that Jordan 4s are trending. If you get a Jordan 4 Lightning for $20 over retail, and that's trending, that's going to go up in 6 to 8 months. So that's going to be a good investment. But if you get a Jordan 6 Bordeaux and you pay $20 over retail, probably not a good investment because that shoe is sitting on shelves basically everywhere. The Obsidian 13s, those are also sitting everywhere. A lot of people put out information that was going to be a good investment. Right now, not looking to be the case because it's literally available in every flex store and literally available at every Finish Line. So guys, those are the 3 basic tips, and we're going to get into a little bit more deeper discussion now. But just to recap, 3 basic tips: understanding your capital, understanding what's trending, and also understanding when to buy. So when I talk about the basics of sneaker investing, you got to break it down into two types of investments, okay? The retail investments and the resale investments. There's a third general area which you can use, talk about, buying like a used shoe and sort of repairing that shoe. I'm not going to talk about that. I don't know much about that. But I'm going to just talk about the retail investments and the resale investments. So retail investments are just what the name is. You get the shoe for retail, okay? So you get a Jordan 4, get a Jordan 1, you get a Dunk, maybe get some cool grays for retail, all right? What do you do with the shoe? Do you immediately sell it, okay? Or do you hold it for a period of time and see what happens? So here's what I'll say about that. If you're going to immediately sell the shoe, when I mean immediately sell it, you need to sell the shoe, if you're going to sell it online on StockX and GOAT, within 2 hours, basically, of the shoe dropping. That is when the price will be highest. It will slowly then start to go down as people start getting their pairs, okay? So when do you sell? It depends on the shoe, right? You can have for example, a Jordan 1 Electro Orange, right? It's a Jordan 1, it's a hype shoe, but people just didn't like the colorway. I sold all my pairs within 2 hours and made a decent chunk of money, all right? If I had held on to those shoes right now, the value on it is basically nothing. You're not going to be able to make much. Maybe you'll break even, right? So understanding when to sell. If you sell the shoe within 2 hours, you will get a price premium because people have taken all these L's and they really want the shoe. If you hold on to the shoe for a couple of days, that you will make significantly less money. In fact, what I would say is if you plan on holding on to it for 4 or 5 days, you want to have the discussion with yourself whether it's worth it to even hold it longer than that, for 6 to 8 months. Okay, so that kind of leads to the next topic, is how long do you hold it for? You've got the short-term holds and you've got the long-term holds. When I talk about short-term holds, I'm talking about a 6-month hold. Long-term holds, I'm talking about a year plus. So for example, I'll take the Jordan 4 Lightnings and the Jordan 4 White Oreos, all right? Those, in my opinion, I would consider those short-term holds looking at the prices, right? The White Oreos have kind of creeped up to the high 300s, high 400s. Maybe it touches 450. At that point, the remaining pairs that I have, I'm selling those off. I'm not going to hold it. I don't know if it's going to be a $500 shoe. That may be a bit much for a Jordan 4 White Oreo. It's possible, but for me, it's better to just sell it when it reaches 450. I collect my money and move on to the next shoe. Long-term holds, I have a pair of Jordan 1 Low Travis Scott Fragments. That to me is a long-term hold. A year plus from now, that shoe's value is going to increase just because there's so many, there's not that many pairs out there, and people may be looking for dead stock pairs, and I will have a dead stock pair for them. And just looking at the prior Jordan 1 Travis Scotts that came out, just understanding that and seeing the price starting from where it is now, 1,000, and slowly increasing, understanding that makes me think that's a good long-term hold. So when you get a shoe for retail, this is how I would sum it up. When you get a shoe for retail, you need to understand when to sell it, okay? The best time to sell for sort of the non-hyped shoes where you can make at least lunch money, or maybe even a little bit more than that, would be within 2 hours of the shoe dropping, okay? If not that, then you need to make a conscious decision about whether to hold the shoe for 6 months or to hold the shoe for even longer than that, all right? Now keep all this in mind, and I'm gonna keep saying this again, make sure you have the capital to buy the shoe. Do not go into credit card debt for sneaker investing. It is not worth it. It is not worth your time. I promise you that. The second type of basic sneaker investing we're talking about is the resale investments. Now, if you don't hit for retail, okay, there are resale investments you can make. If you looked at when the Jordan 4 Lightnings, about maybe 2 weeks after the release came out, the price was basically like $10, $15 over retail, all right? That's probably going to be a good resale investment, because you know that shoe was really hyped. You know there is opportunity in the price from, I think it was sold for, I think it was like $230, no, it was $220. It's like $220 or $230 was the retail price. Can't remember exactly what it was. But if you get a pair for $240, you know that shoe is going to at least touch $300. you'll be able to make a little bit of cash off that. And even if you want to hold it a little bit longer into next holiday season, you may be able to make even more money than that. So that's one thing to consider right there. Now, there are other resale investments, UNC ones, those are going to go back up. Just thinking that through, that's probably for me is going to be a longer term investment. Now, if I got in a pair at resale, let's say around like $320, $330, I think the prices generally now are like $360, $370. I'm probably gonna, I have a few pairs, but I'm just gonna keep holding on to those pairs. So I would say for me, resale investments, if I'm going to be getting into the resale investment market, and I'm thinking more of a longer term hold. That's really the only time that I'm getting into the resale investment market, that I know if I hold this shoe for 8 to 12 months, I'll be able to make upwards of $100. So this is how I would break it down, guys. Retail investments, the sneakers, you hit on retail. When do you sell? Make a decision. Do you want to sell within those first 2 hours, or do you want to hold it longer term? Resale investments, guys. When I'm talking about resale investments, I'm talking about longer term holds. And guys, that is the video today. I want to let everybody know that I did get the Jordan 2 Off-Whites in. I'm going to do an in-hand review of them. I'm also going to be talking about in that video just some holiday holds that I have, some shoes that I expect to go up in the next month or so. And that is the video for today, guys. And this is Elite Kick signing off. Take care, everybody.